Hey, Dan Larsson here. Welcome to the newest Synthesize Sunday episode. And today I want to show you a little different thing because, I don't only love bass music and very heavy and crunchy basses and drum and bass and dubstep and stuff, but I love cool and groovy and funky house music. And a few weeks ago, I released a sample pack named Emergency House. Yeah, that was the name of it. And I want to show you a little clip and a very, very cool, nasty bass sound that I used there. And this is how it sounds. Let's jump into it. Okay, so this is the bass sound I want to show you today. Let me solo it. So this is it. Listen, listen. So cool. Made it in Serum, but before I jump into it, I want to show you that I resampled the sound, I mean the full preset, because on itself, okay, stop circling please, thank you. There's nothing interesting at the end of it. So what I try to do with that is at this very last few bits, I try to transpose up like, I think 1 octave, this part of the bass sound. So let me click on it and, okay, I resampled it, but I remember I did that. So if I select this bit, for example, this part and this part, obviously not with the beats warping mode because it just makes the sound crap. Not trap, crap. So it's a little interesting change to the original sound. So as you can hear at the end, it changes the full tone of the sound simply by dropping 1 octave up transposition. And I think it sounds pretty interesting, like, let me show it again. Okay, so this is all I did here, and the sound itself, the preset itself comes from Serum, like, where else from? But I had to freeze it because it's a little heavy on the CPU. I don't need this scaling device tool here. The utility tool is to make only the low-end mono. So it is very important if you're making bass sounds or bass instruments, you always want to stick the very low frequencies to mono. Okay, so this is very important. You don't want to conflict with the stereo phasing, like killing the peaks and the phases. It's not good. So this is the utility tool, and I used this pen tool, auto pen tool, to create a sidechain effect. This is the simplest way to sidechain your sound. Without the sidechain, it's not very interesting. But it's very, very nice, very fast, and very instant sidechaining. Anyway, so this was all I did here. And in the Serum preset, I used 2 saw waves, I mean 2 oscillators, and I used saw waves on both of the oscillators, 4 voices of unison, slight detuning, nothing fancy here, but very important thing here, I pulled back the random on all the knobs, I mean on both of the oscillators. And actually this is important because what I wanted to do is have a sort of static kind of sound. So on every hot, on every trigger, I wanted to have the same sound, especially with the unison voices. So this is what this random knob does. You don't want the unison voices run free. So to stop them, you need to pull back the random knob. And when you did that, this phase knob can get alive pretty well. So because they don't run free, you need to determine a place or a phase where you want to start your waveform at when you trigger your note. So this is actually, again, very important if you use the random knob pulled back. And very interesting thing that I didn't use anything here except the filter, which is an MG Low 12. It's a very slight low pass filter. But what I did there is I pushed up the drive pretty high. And this gives some pretty nice crunch to it. Okay, so let's go to the effects. Regular hyperdimension. A compressor, OTT in OTT mode, but I pulled up the low end to give some more low end basically to it. Without the OTT, it just sounds crap. Just unacceptable crap. A lot nicer. And then another low pass filter, this time in MG Low 6. And why I use this here is I wanted to automate the low pass on the full, just make a sequence which just fades in, and at the end of the bar, or it's actually 8 bars long if I remember well, so at the end of the 8th bar I wanted to open up the full filter, but before that I just wanted to have a very shallow sound. And because I did the same here with the main filter, what is the purpose of the second filter, the second low pass filter? And that's because the OTT brings up pretty heavy top end, and I didn't want to have them there, so let me show it to you at the very first bars. So it's okay, it's a filtered sound, but there are some zizzy kind of sounds, some fuzzy kind of sounds. Of course, at the end, it's a lot different. But anyway, I wanted to have a very filtered sound at the very beginning of the sequence. So this is the purpose of the second filter, a phaser. Just to add some character to it, and the distortion, a very nice tube distortion. And actually this gives a more aggressive tone to the full sound by giving more overtones. The distortion is always very nice if you want to make aggressive sounds. It doesn't matter if you are into producing dubstep or drum and bass or house. If it's aggressive, if you want to make it aggressive, just use some slight distortion or not slight distortion, it's up to you. Anyway, so this is a sound. It's just way very, very easy and very, very cool. And if you are interested, next week, I want to show you how I made this sound. It's even better, I think. And it is coming from Razor, which is a very, very cool instrument if you are into house production. So if you are interested, stay tuned next week. And if you are interested in the preset, go check the description, and see you next time, guys. Bye bye.